Hey everyone, today we're talking February deer chores. You don't want to miss this. Hello again everyone, Ryan Nordahl here, Epic Whitetail Habitat LLC. Today we're talking February deer chores. It's almost February. You know, we're into that what I consider the final month of winter, meteorological winter. A lot of meteorologists would call it. We're out there, we're scouting, we're putting boots on the ground. You know, I'm doing a lot of consultations here in the state of Wisconsin, southeast Minnesota, and Iowa right now. And in the month of February, we're going to be expanding into Missouri and possibly even Illinois and Indiana here in the month of February coming up. You know, it can coincide with shed hunting too. You know, a lot of cabin fever going on right now. I have it myself, my family. We're getting out, we're doing some shed hunting. Now, the key with shed hunting is if you have a lot of bucks in your area that are still holding on, you know, my suggestion is to wait, because you don't want to be going out and bumping all those bucks off that you anticipate that will drop on your property. You don't want to be blowing them out, chasing them onto your neighbor's land or anything like that, with the potential of them dropping on your neighbor's land or even further away. So I suggest waiting until the bucks in your area have dropped. Bucks around my parents' house for the most part have dropped. My father's been out. He's been out scouting. You know, he drives around. When he's done with chores in the evening on the family farm, he goes for a drive in the evenings, and he's been watching some bucks in our area. One in particular, the Holmes buck, that many of you may have seen on some of my previous videos from this fall that I was hunting down behind my parents' house, and he's been watching him. He's noticed a large deer out in the alfalfa fields that does not have antlers, and several other bucks that don't have antlers. And so he's been watching them, and he's telling me that those deer have dropped. And we were out this last weekend. We didn't find many, but we did find two. We found one little freshie, and but it can tell a lot. It can be quite deceitful this time of year when you're shed hunting. Not all the bucks that we find are necessarily home bodies. We just happen to have and control the food this time of year. You know, I'm recording this now at the end of January. It can have something to do with late season hunting, because here in Jackson County, Wisconsin, our archery season has been extended to the 31st of January. So it can play a little bit of a part in that. You know, if we control the food, those deer can definitely be there come late season, those that have shed already. And, you know, like I said before, I was fortunate enough to find two, nothing huge, one little small, what I believe to be a 6-point side. And it was a freshie. There was blood on the pedicle and everything, but I was surprised at how fast what I would assume would be red squirrels, pine squirrels, had gotten on that antler and chewed it up already. It was in a small thermal bedding area, and it was just amazing how fast those squirrels had got on that and chewed it up. And I know that antler had dropped really recently, you know, probably within 24 to 36 hours with the blood that was on that pedicle. And then I found another small, probably a really nice 1.5 year old, or, you know, a small 2.5 year old side. I'm leaning toward that small 2.5 year old side, just for the amount, you know, the size of that pedicle and the mass that he was carrying. Not that a 2-year-old carries a ton of mass, but anyway, that's besides the point. So, you know, it can go hand in hand with your scouting, paying attention, you know, to the rubs in the areas. You know, we're fortunate enough this winter here again, fortunate enough, unfortunate enough, that we don't have any snow cover again this year. 2 years in a row, you know, We've had very little snow cover here in the state of Wisconsin, at least in this part of west central Wisconsin anyway. And the third thing we want to concentrate on, we get, that we're going to be really excited about here at the end of February as the temperatures start to rise. Last year we were able to get some frost seeding done in February, and that freeze-thaw effect, that freezing and thawing, that heaving and contracting of the ground with the temperatures of the day where it's below freezing at night and above freezing during the day. And when it contracts again at night in the cool weather, it draws that little seed, that little clover and chicory seed down into the soil profile. And I don't recommend going much larger than that. Some grass seeds, I know, years ago when we were pasturing cattle, we'd frost seed in the springtime, so we had some grass seeds and stuff in there. But again, trying to avoid grass and fillers as much as we can. Clover works best this time of year. Switchgrass, though, on the flip side of the coin, switchgrass can be frost seeded. So we're getting really excited about that. I'm just not ready to do it yet here in the beginning of February, but towards the end we get that freeze and thaw effect during the day and at night. That's when I want to be out there. And I want to be out there as early as I possibly can in the morning to broadcast my seed, because I don't want to be tracking mud. When I got my broadcaster in front of me, whether it's my bag seeder or my Hooyman electric 24 volt seeder, I'm walking behind the spread pattern, and I don't want to be walking in mud, potentially picking up clover and chicory seed on my boots and dragging that all over. I want to be doing it when the ground is hard and frozen. Plus, the key behind frost seeding is that the area must be prepped in advance, meaning any leaves, if it's an in-woods, small little kill plot or anything where the leaves have dropped in the fall or winter months, those leaves and that debris are scattered. We're going through, picking up sticks, getting them off, blowing the weeds out, taking our leaf blowers, hand rake, what have you, and prepping that before we even frost seed. And that's key. Our soil amendments can, as far as fertilizer, any additional lime that we have to apply, I'm going to save that for a later date when the weather is more predictable and we're not freezing and thawing at night. Later on in the springtime, probably April, May, at that time. Ahead of a rain, of course, if I'm broadcasting granular. Otherwise, going to the liquid products from Domain Outdoor, they work great. I can spray over the top as a foliar application with the liquid lime and all of that. I can spray it over the top, and the rain will eventually soak that down into the soil profile. And it works really well, despite what the naysayers may say. Liquid products are the way to go. I'm not handling bag after bag after bag. 1 gallon can cover an acre. Yeah, it might be more of a maintenance product than anything. And ag lime is always probably number one when it comes to lime. But I tell you what, I'm having great luck with their liquid lime product, and in combination with their Dirty Deeds humic acid, it works really well, and it's done very well for us in the past. Finalizing tree and shrub orders. Now's the time, again, to finalize those tree and shrub orders so they're ready to go when whoever you're ordering them through has them available toward the end of March through April. You're not in a rush. You're not rushing them at all. You've got them in place. You're not procrastinating. Now's the time to do it. February is the time to finalize those orders. Make sure you got everything that you want to plant here in the spring when the conditions allow to get those bare root trees, cuttings, what have you, ball and burlap trees planted. You want to get your orders finalized here in the month of February. New stand location prep and clearing shooting lanes. Not necessarily going out and hanging stands. Yes, I am, but no, I'm not. I'm going through any existing stand locations. If I'm not taking them down completely, I'm at least going out, loosening the straps so those trees can expand when they grow over the growing season here in this coming summer. It reduces that chance of ripping a strap. I'm also checking stands at that time, checking cables, checking chains on them, what have you. Checking the welds, paying very close attention. I don't want anything cracked. Safety is number one, but we're clearing shooting lanes as well. Why this early would we be clearing shooting lanes? Why not wait until the leaves are out, mid-summer? Why not wait until then? Well, that's good strategy, but I believe the sooner that we can do it, especially when we're dealing with mature deer who do not like a lot of tampering with their environment. If we can do it as early as we can this time of year, January, February, into March, if we can do the major clearing of our shooting lanes this time of year, we can go back in the summertime and take those little subtle cuts of, any foliage or sticks that we didn't see that have foliage on them at that time and cut them. We're getting the major work done now so those mature deer have time to adjust to that new manipulation of the forest that we did around those stand locations, if that makes sense at all. So those are the 5 things that you can be doing on your property here in the month of February. And I hope you enjoy what you're doing. Guys, have fun, stay safe, and most of all, keep living the dream. Thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it.